That's a good view right there.
All right. Folks out there, if you can hear me, I'm coming in now. We're shy of one producer, so I got to multitask, Kel Curtis.
Yes,
How
sir.
are you? And
Good,
Jake
good.
West. How are you doing tonight? I'm your host, BKP, and we're at Circuit World here in Murphy, and it's time for the NC Sports Report. Hey, listen, the Murphy Bulldogs have a makeup game, and they're over there playing Andrews, right?
Yep.
Is it Andrews?
Conahita.
So we're going to do things a little different. We're going to test Kel out a little bit. Are you okay with that?
Oh, yeah.
You ready? All right.
I'm ready.
All right, Kel said he's ready, and we got my co-host here, Jake West, wearing the App State jersey. I want to thank you. Last week, I made it through it, but the Red Sox jersey, but first of all, tell us what's going on over there, Jake. They're playing Andrews. Tell us where the team's at. Give us an update where they're at on their standings, what's going on tonight, and where that'll put them as far as the race to the end of the regular season.
Okay, well, last week they had Robbinsville and Rosman, as we talked about on the show last week, and their Tuesday game was against Robbinsville. They handled them pretty easily. Kellen Romfeld actually threw a no-hitter, and I think they had 10 hits and scored 11 runs, and Mercy ruled them in 5. And then Thursday was a different story. They ended up losing to Rosman 11-0. Rosman put up, I think, 7 runs in the 5th inning and ended up Mercy ruling Murphy. Josh Ott, he was on the show last week. He started the game, and he pitched pretty well, but he was throwing a lot of pitches, so they had to bring in, and he's their ace, I guess, and so they had to take him out and bring in some other guys. And with as young as they are, they committed a lot of errors, kind of shot themselves in the foot. And as sound a team as Rosman is, they really took advantage of that and really jumped on them.
Let me ask you this before I get Kel in here. They're right there in the second slot with Hayesville. What's the scenario that you see? I know we got to see what happens tonight, and then Hayesville's playing Rosman right now, or is they playing tonight or
tomorrow?
So what's the scenario you see right now?
Well, I'm pretty sure if Hayesville does beat Rosman, they'll end up with the second place spot. But as long as they don't end up beating Rosman,
and Murphy keeps winning.
Then I'm pretty sure Murphy has the tiebreaker.
Kel, let me ask you, because I want to ask you now. This is the state championship team. Until you lose, you're the state championship team. But they graduated 11 kids last year. Yeah. Big changes. Coach comes back. I was talking to a coach the other night, and we were talking about a kid on a different team, and Coach said, I'm going to miss that kid next year. But isn't that high school baseball, period, or high school sports is every year you show up with a new group?
Well,
tell me a little bit about this team, what you see in this team.
Usually you're losing a third of your roster. I mean, you
right.
know, if you're football or baseball, if you're balanced out, a third of your team's leaving every year. It just happens to be last year Murphy had a group kind of stayed together for several years, and they went back-to-back state champions. 2 years in a row to the series. They lost it the first year to Whiteville, and then the second year they won the state. So myself and Dennis Jean actually called the state championships on the radio last year, Dennis Jean and myself, and that was a big thrill. I've called several big games, but that was one of the top, calling those 2 state championship games on the radio.
What about this team this year? What are you seeing in this team you like? I mean, that you like because this is a young team and you see future in this team. What are some of the things that stand out to you this year knowing this team?
I like it that they're a lot better than everybody thought they might be. People were thinking Murphy might not contend, and to lose what Murphy lost and to be in contention. They were in contention for the conference championship until the Rosman game a couple of days ago.
Yeah, Thursday.
I mean, a lot of people wouldn't have believed that. And they are still in a solid spot to get second.
What I see from this team
what do you see there?
Is the same as, they're your younger version of the team that went back to back. Because, all those guys stayed together, played their whole careers, young guns. That was the travel team they all played on, all the way up. They stayed together. And this is the same thing with these guys, just different team, different set of guys, but they've played all the way up.
Whooped up on a bunch of teams all the way up.
Yeah, for sure. We had in rec league they have a Murphy Black and a Murphy Gold, and all these guys were always on the same one, and they were always.
They have that in basketball too, because when we did the Christmas Clash for the Park and Rec for basketball, I was caught off guard because we broadcast all those games, and I had a Murphy Black and a Murphy Gold team. I was like, wow, all right. And you know what was interesting, not to switch gears to the Park and Rec basketball, both teams were competitive. I mean, really competitive. So it's good that you have that background. But let me ask you this, because I was thinking of this when we left. Every year when I do high school sports, no matter what it is, I look at the leadership on the field. Who are the seniors? Who are the leadership? And I think what I'm gathering, not knowing this team, you guys know the team, I think what I'm gathering, Kel, is the leadership was so strong. When you said a lot of people didn't expect them to contend. But you know what? I think this is actually a result of what kind of leadership they played under. Would you agree?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, those guys want to pass on. Murphy baseball didn't used to be a thing that you wanted to be a part of, you know. I mean, they were always good, but they never
contended for a spectacle.
Yeah, they never got over the hump. I mean, it was always third round, second round, you're out. Get beat by Cherryville every year, you know, same thing over and over again. And then they finally got over the hump, and now those guys really wanted, the team that stayed together and won that state championship and went back-to-back years, really wanted to pass down their legacy and make people want to be a part of this Murphy baseball group. And they really
Murphy could have won it 2 or 3 times. You know, just a couple of unlucky. Murphy's had a ton of talent come through in the last 10 years in baseball. Josh Cordell team, Taylor Cordell and that team, 2011, 2012?
Yeah, for sure.
We went into playoffs 25-0, got upset.
There's been more talented teams than the team that was last year, but that team just had it. Some teams have it, some teams don't, and that team just had it.
Hey, when they're on, they're on.
No, they were on.
When they're on, they're on. But what I was getting at there is, obviously, the team has great coaching, good coaching, solid coaching, but it's the leadership of the players that are leaving that magnetically pull that next group up, and the other ones pull that next group up.
I think so.
You agree with me?
I
and
do.
That's where kids say, I want to play for this team.
You see it in football.
Exactly. So there's a lot to be said. And I'm glad Coach is not watching right now because they don't like those ifs, do they, Cal?
No, they like.
All right, but if they turn out to be second in the region, what happens next? What do you see right now?
Usually, a second place team out of the Smoky Mountain Conference would get a home playoff game.
Yeah.
You would figure would get at least one home playoff game. Now, like last year, they had home field all the way through the Western Regional Championships. The way they've been doing it the last 2 or 3 years, I guess Jake knows now, they're doing it on a Max Preps computer ranking. It used to be a preset bracket every year. For many years, as long as I followed it, it was a preset bracket. One year you might have a good slate of home games, and the next year the team out in the other part of the state would balance out. But now they're going strictly on a computer. If you win your conference, all of the conference winners are put in a pool and rated on their computer ranking. And then all of the second place teams from all the conferences are put in a pool, and they rate them top to bottom on the computer ranking and third, and then they'll put in a couple of wild cards to fill out a 32-team bracket, I believe it is.
Right.
And it'll come out 32 teams usually and play it off.
Jake, talk a little bit about Hayesville, because Hayesville's playing Rosman. They're sitting with the same record as Murphy right now. What kind of team are they, and is this new to? I don't know this team. I haven't followed it. Is this new this year to Hayesville, or they got a pretty good program that they've been building for a couple years? Because it looks like they're playing good baseball. And then you've also mentioned if Hayesville could beat Rosman. Is that something that, on any given day, yes, but is that something you see could happen?
Yeah, for sure. Coach Fardo's always got that team ready to go, fired up. Hayesville's always, as long as I've even paid attention, not even been in high school, they've always had a good baseball team. Always. They usually, up until a few years ago, they were always beating Murphy. And Hayesville was the best team in the
They were the standard in baseball
conference.
since,
Yeah, for sure.
since the mid-'70s. They would probably have as good a winning tradition as anybody in this part of the state in baseball.
For sure. I think at one point before Murphy, when they were the only team in the conference that had won
a state championship in baseball. Civil
Baseball.
Webster had won a couple in the 70s, and Franklin, that used to be in the Smoky Mountain Conference, has won a state championship. But nobody broke through besides Hayesville that was still in our conference right now until Murphy did last year. So Hayesville traditionally has been a strong team, and like Jake said, wouldn't surprise nobody if they knocked off Rosman. Rosman has got an excellent team this year. I think they're 11-1,
Dude,
12-1.
they surprised me. They surprised me this year.
Why did they surprise you this year? I mean, what is their background? And you guys, I tell you, you don't know how much I'm enjoying this because I haven't had an opportunity to watch these guys. I can't say on the air, but
Traditionally, they were third wheel to Murphy and Hayes.
I do PA announcing for some other team over
in Georgia.
Well, you didn't have to say that out loud.
Well,
But anyway, yeah,
we got him across the state line.
yeah, but I didn't. No, I'm not. I'm not used to. I'm not used to watching these teams and knowing the names and everything like that. So, Rosman, tell me about them and their tradition. And you said they're surprising this year. Tell me why, Jake.
I just feel like, to me, Rosman's like. I feel like in baseball, you kind of have Murphy and Hayesville,
And everybody else.
Everybody else, like, there's a team that's going to play third field. There's a team that's going to be third, obviously, and that team kind of just changes. It's like a rotation. Like, who's got the best athletes this year? Not necessarily the best baseball players, but the best athletes. That's going to string together a few wins. But I think this year Rosman has some baseball players on that team
Crashed the party.
for sure. Yeah, no doubt.
It's been a Murphy-Hayesville deal in baseball for many years. Swain, sometimes is
Yeah.
pretty decent. I don't know if the Swain County Maroon Devils is located in Bryson City, North Carolina.
Yeah.
One of Murphy's big rivals.
If it was Swain in Rosman's spot, I would not be surprised. Would you?
No,
Would you?
no. But Rosman, they but last year they were pretty decent.
Yeah.
And they've brought their tradition up. They've struggled in some other sports, but they've got them a conference championship. Looks like so. Congratulations to the Rosman Tigers. No.
Well, see, I guess what I pick it up is in this conference because, like over in Georgia, I look at the conferences and you can see a top seed in a conference, but then you start going down and you see some of the programs are weak. What you're saying is this conference, Smoky Mountain, this is becoming a solid, well-known conference across the state. And obviously, Murphy's had a lot to do with that, but overall, these other teams with Hayesville, Rosman, Swain, Robbinsville, this is
It's where it's at.
a region that is tough.
For sure.
In the
For
state of North
sure.
Carolina, this conference is known. I mean,
For
you've
sure.
got, especially in football, Robbinsville, Murphy, and Swain probably pushing 30 state championships between the three of them. I mean,
You think about
nobody else in the world that I know of.
the best conference in college football. It's the SEC. You think about the best conference in North Carolina high school football. It's definitely the Smoky Mountain Conference.
And I'll tell you how I look at that, because a lot of times when you start getting in the first round of playoffs and you say, well, a 3 seed has to go and play a 2, or a 4 is playing a 1. The 1 in another conference, in this conference, don't take the 3 seed that's visiting for granted,
Oh, it's happened a bunch,
Yeah.
hasn't it?
right?
For
Because
sure.
out of this one,
A 3 or a 4 has come out, in football especially, a 3 or a 4 has come out of the Smoky Mountain Conference and upset many conference champions. Well, Robbinsville Black Knights last year,
Yep.
for example, beat the number 1 seed in the computer rankings in the western half of the state, was Thomas Jefferson Academy.
Yep.
Robbinsville finished second in our conference, went out there and beat them bad, beat the
Yeah,
brakes
beat the
off
brakes
of them.
off
About
of them,
30
for sure,
points
yeah.
nearly, and so the computer blew a gasket the night Robbinsville went out and beat Thomas Jefferson. And Murphy, of course, was seated below Mitchell in the football playoffs. Another computer glitch.
Yeah.
So Murphy and Robbinsville both, due to computer rankings in the 3rd round last year, had to go on the road. Murphy to Mitchell, Robbinsville to Thomas Jefferson. But as usual, they pulled through, proved the computer wrong, and the Western Finals, Murphy and Robbinsville played in it.
and it takes an extra hour to get up that mountain over at Mitchell.
You can't get there from Murphy. It's about 3.5 hours.
Can't get there from here, can you?
No.
I know all too well. Now that one I know where it's at. But let me ask you this, Jake, and then I want you to get in on this. One of the greatest things about high school sports, when the season's over, it's over. Coaches go, and they got the JV players, and they've got their juniors and their sophomores, and every coach will tell you is not shocked, but when the season starts the following year, there's 2 or 3 players that step up that whoa, we're football, but let's stay focused on baseball. Hey, this kid really stepped up. Who are those couple of guys that really, when coach showed up this year, you didn't know where they were going to go, and they've turned out to be really tearing the cover off the ball, or hot on the mound, or playing some sweet defense?
Out of no-hitter.
Who are those? Who are some of those players that from last year? Because guess what? I mean, if you had 11 seniors leave,
lot
then
of
the
starters.
players that are playing today were covered up.
Yeah.
Correct? We weren't watching them. We didn't know who are some of those guys.
You got the Rumfelt brothers. They're going to be really good for Murphy Sports as a whole.
Pitched a no-hitter the other
Yeah,
day,
Kellen
freshman.
Rumfelt pitched a no-hitter against Robbinsville on Tuesday.
It was a ninth grader.
And you got Briggs Cornwell. He's got the biggest bat on the team, probably one
Freshman, I believe.
Yes.
He was here last
He
week.
was.
He's a big boy.
He's batting 720, I think.
They're
Right.
walking him a lot now, I hear.
Yeah,
A lot of
they're
teams
not
are
going to pitch.
not
Not going to
fooling
pitch
with
to him at all. And I think one that stands out to me is talk about being covered up. Josh Ott was a junior last year on that team with
Excellent.
11 seniors, and
Excellent ball player.
I don't think he got to shine a lot.
What
last
positions
year,
he
'cause, I mean,
play?
Well, he's pitched this year. He's played infield.
Yeah, exactly.
He's a jack of all trades.
Because that's why I was asking. Because if you're out there, you had 11 kids last year. You covered up a whole. You covered up a whole team.
two
that was-
extras.
Yeah, you covered up a whole team on the bench. And when you know you got some players on the bench. You know who they are basically. But actually, heard a coach tell somebody one time that the kid practiced real well, but it didn't transfer to the field.
Yeah.
yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Practice here.
He practiced real well, but he didn't transfer.
Teams
to the
have
field.
always had a lot
know?
of good practice players.
So-
and then you've got some guys that don't do much in practice and they'll show up on
Yep.
game days. So,
Yep.
I like gamers.
All right, listen, folks, we're going to take a brief break. We're going to take a little break. Kel Curtis here with me, my co-host Jake West. Now, our Murphy baseball team coaches and everybody, they had a makeup game over, and they have Andrews tonight, makeup game. If some of them get by, that'll be great. If not, I'm for sure we're going to find plenty of things to talk about when we return at Circuit World in Murphy with the NC Sports Report. Hang on, guys. I got to do the producing job, too. I got to go turn the button.
So I pay you the big bucks.
Is that what that is?
Yeah.
Ace is your helpful place for paint and home goods, tools, outdoor living, and lawn equipment. But did you know Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge is a little bit more? We have hunting rifles and accessories for your next hunting trip. We have Amish furniture imported directly from Ohio. And we have Ace Custom Woodworks for all your custom wood project needs, from cabinets to artwork. Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge. We have your new house in stock.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
Hello, my name is Chad Watkins. I'm the manager at Larry's Body Shop. We are a family-owned and operated business and have been serving the North Georgia area since 1978. We are located at 1216 Progress Road in LOJ, Georgia. Our shop specializes in collision repair, and we work with all major insurance companies. Larry's Body Shop is ICAR Gold, the highest role of training recognized by the collision repair industry. It is estimated that only 10% of collision shops meet these standards. Our shop consists of state-of-the-art equipment such as laser measurement system, down-drive spray booth, spot and MIG welding equipment. All of our paints are mixed on-site so that we can guarantee your paint to match every time. I know that having an accident can be a stressful event. We take pride in making sure our customers are satisfied with the repair of their vehicles. Our waiting area is clean and comfortable with free Wi-Fi and refreshing beverages. So if you're in an accident, stop by and see us at Larry's Body Shop.
Do you feel like healthcare has become too impersonal?
3 times an hour, I'll get you in, I'll get you out.
At Lifetime Medical Center, you're more than a number. We get to know you, not just your medical issues. Dr. Alana Kent is board certified in family practice and offers same-day appointments. She and her staff treat conditions from minor to chronic issues. Lifetime Medical Center, convenient to Jasper and Blue Ridge.
This may sting a little.
Circuit World, with multiple locations to serve you in Murphy and Franklin, North Carolina, Blairsville, Blue Ridge, and Ellen Georgia. Locally owned and operated since 1985. Appliances, electronics, and furniture. Name brand products like LG, Samsung, Dell, Whirlpool, Ashley, Catnapper, and more. No credit check, only 10% down on furniture, and only $10 down on any new lease purchase. Mention FYN10 for your special deal today at Circuit World. In 1981, Reed Nicholson began selling tires out of an old barn in Mineral Bluff. Little did he know that he had just laid the groundwork for the most trusted names in automotive services in the Blue Ridge area. In 1997, Nicholson Tire Center became what it is today, holding the same values of faith, family, and great customer service. 2 locations to serve you, and the Blue Ridge location is currently expanding to offer fast service and the largest U-Haul provider in Georgia. Nicholson Tire Center, Blue Ridge, and Mineral Bluff.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
Okay, folks, we're coming back. I'm your host, BKP. Sorry, I've got to do the production side of this, too.
He's a jack of all trades.
Well, Kel, I'm here with Kel Curtis, Jake West. We're at Circuit World here in Murphy, and we've been talking about Murphy's Bulldog baseball for the first. Now, we were going to have some players and coaches here tonight with us, but they're doing a makeup game at Andrews, so we're kind of breaking down a little bit of the team. Guys, let's switch gears just a minute because I don't get you here that often, and I hadn't had a chance to talk to you. Let's just switch gears a minute because we're getting into spring football practice. Mm-hmm. We're getting into conditioning. That's happening, and we're not far away.
Nope.
You're going to wake up. It's May. You're going to wake up, and we're in June and July and workouts. So, give me your brief. Just give me your opinion on what we see this year on the Bulldogs football.
First, congrats. If I hadn't got to say it on TV or anything, congrats to the boys, the big team that won it last year. That was an awesome team. Congrats. I enjoyed watching it. All of you guys, thumbs up. You brought a lot of pride to our community last year. For this year, I mean, expectations always high at Murphy.
Always.
I mean, it's not.
And that comes from the top. That's what I like here in this area. It's not. It's your expectation. It's yours. It's the players. They expect it of themselves. The coach expects it. And what is he on? His 9th retirement year?
Well, there's just so much talent come through.
Well, am I wrong, Jake?
Well,
I mean,
he's gonna retire when he gets an off group of players coming up, and I guess he's never gonna retire because
Murphy don't have many off groups.
Exactly. Exactly.
I say that jokingly because Coach Gentry. He's been in retirement a couple years, or this may be the last one. I mean,
they've been saying that since I was in elementary school.
For years. They've been saying that for years. Coach Gentry, on a serious note, does have a really legitimate shot this year.
Go for it. I wanted to hear that. I know where you're
being
going.
The all-time winningest coach in the state of North Carolina for high school football. He's about, I think it's 6 or 7 wins short.
I think 6 to tie, 7 to.
6 to tie, 7 to break it.
What is that number, Jake?
412.
Yep, 412.
412.
I think Coach Gentry is sitting on 406 wins right now, and 7 wins next year would give him the all-time record in the state of North Carolina from day one till now. Any division, any school, anywhere in the state of North Carolina, any coach in the state of North Carolina, Coach Gentry, and we want to wish him the best. I mean, it's just amazing.
I remember last year when he hit his 400. Jake, let me ask you this question, because when I watch football teams, we do a lot of Saturday coverage of Park and Rec, the younger teams. the success of high school football to me is when the head coach has his feeder programs walking in ready to go. Tell me a little bit about Murphy's feeder programs into the high school.
Well, I don't know if you probably don't have it in Georgia, but we have the Cracker Bowl over here for the rec league teams. That the two best rec league teams in every mites, midgets, peewees, they all face off in.
That's the Super Bowl
Yeah,
for the Pee-wees.
for sure,
Yeah.
for sure. And Murphy's always there, just like they're always in the playoffs in high school. Murphy's teams are always there. It was, and also a lot of it comes from growing up. There's schools like Ranger and Peachtree, and when there was Marble. Those kids kind of, if they're athletes, football players, they're going to go to Murphy instead of maybe Hiwassee Dam or Andrews or somewhere else, just because of the tradition that's been here. And who wouldn't want to play for Coach Gentry? I mean, that Ranger school, Kale, it's right beside Hiwassee Dam. That's
Maybe 10 minutes.
Yeah. I mean, it's probably closer to Hiwassee Dam than it is to Murphy, but a lot of those kids, Hiwassee Dam doesn't have a football team, so they're going to go to Murphy.
They're known for their basketball. They've had some good basketball, good baseball.
Yes, Hiwassee Dam.
Martins Creek,
Martins
too.
Creek's turned out a ton of baseball talent and a bunch of good athletes to Murphy.
For sure. It's just a lot of
talented kids.
Yeah, the community just, I don't know.
They turn out athletes.
A lot of breeders around here.
Well, we have a lot of good talent come through.
Well, you know what I noticed, Kel, is when you're a successful high school football program, when the 8, 9, 10-year-olds were walking around and they can't wait to be a Murphy Bulldog, and they've got their jerseys on and they can't wait. They grow up wanting to be a Murphy Bulldog, and that is the way it is around here. These young guys growing up can't wait to get on that team,
pass down,
and go to the next level.
I think we can go with that right into the big story of Murphy football right now. I think it's Yusuf Moogerbill. He had his two brothers. He had Tark and Muhammad and Mustafa. His three brothers, older brothers, all really good athletes. Like all of them or two of them played football, and you could tell Yusuf was just chomping at the bit to get up there and play for the varsity team, play for Coach Gentry. Now he's a 4-star recruit, #1 guard in the country, at his #1 in the country, ranked by rivals at his position. Biggest recruit we've had come through here in a long time, since Carl Pickens probably. And he's already got offers from Tennessee, Carolina, Duke.
He has visited with Coach Kirby Smart in Athens. I don't know if they've officially offered, but they had him
he
down.
visited with Dabo and Clemson.
I don't know if Clemson's officially offered, but Coach Chaney from Tennessee was over here last week.
Yeah, watch him work out.
Used to be Georgia's offensive coordinator, Coach Jim Chaney, who is now at Tennessee.
Right.
Was over here at the gym the other day looking at Yusuf. I think they were doing some spring.
Watch him work out, yeah.
They're getting cranking up on spring practice. I heard they had the sign-ups here the other day, and they look like a pretty good group signed up. Of course, the JV team went undefeated. They were the JV champions, so they'll be moving up quite a good bunch.
See, that's what I'm talking about. I mean,
they pretty well whooped up on most teams last year. Didn't have many close games.
This team has, and I always look at the feeder program that goes in, and the head coach. These head coaches that have the kind of success, or hope to have, because right now Coach Gentry's 7 games away from every coach hoping to have that success. So those coaches that hope to have that success, they want to build that expectation with the kids, the JV, everybody wants to win, and they walk in, the feeder program walks in. Let me change this just a little bit, and we can go any other direction, but you have any comments on the recent draft?
It was the SEC. They said had the most players picked, quite a few.
That's what I understand.
Quite a few first-round picks. And,
I think there was 11 players that played high school football in North Carolina that got drafted.
I think the state of North Carolina was the #7 state for players that got drafted. So
high school football players that went on to get drafted.
This year's draft class that came out of high school football in North Carolina, we were the #7 in the nation.
I think they had
so North Carolina
10 or 11 players.
10 or 11 players. So it's getting up there to where North Carolina's one of the top states. Well, #7.
Yeah.
I mean, there's only 6 other states turned out more draft picks in the state of North Carolina.
Obviously, Florida and Texas.
Florida and Texas, more population, and football is really good in those states. Georgia's got a lot of talent, but North Carolina always I thought was underrated. Now they're beginning to see where the talent's coming from. State of North Carolina, we were the number 7 state this year, and we forgot Slade. We didn't want to talk about Slade McTaggart. Read today, supposed to be signing per him that I read on social media. He's signing at 11 o'clock tomorrow, I believe it is.
Yep.
He'll be signing at
football at
Western Carolina University. Slade
Coach
McTaggart, one of the top players of the state championship team last year, really came up clutch at the Mitchell game.
For sure.
I don't think Murphy would have won the game without Slade last year. I mean, you know, Murphy's not a one-man team by no means, but Slade just kind of put Murphy on his back in that fourth quarter last year.
For sure. That's a gritty kid.
It
Tough
was
kid.
cold. It was muddy. It was raining. Murphy was on the road. Hostile crowd. Very tough place to play in Mitchell County.
Yeah,
we got to. Oh, you can't get there from here.
And I mean, he put Murphy on his back, and he led him to the promised land. So Slade McTaggart, very proud of you. Go out there and do a good job.
All right, we got to close. So I want both of you to. This is a little bit of a trick question. If people are watching out there, sometimes they say, "Well, you talk football, you talk baseball, then you talk some more football. Is there anything else going on out there?" So, Jake, you wrap it up tonight, and then I'll go to Kel. Pick a team. I don't care what sport it is. Bring up something else.
Softball.
There you go. Take it.
There's 2 big-time recruits I know on that team.
Annie Kate Dalton.
And I can't remember her name.
Pickett's girl.
No, Kaya Pickens is on there too, and
they got so many good ones.
Yeah, there's so many. I know there's two girls on there. One of them's going to play softball at University of Tennessee, already committed. One of them's going to play softball at the University of North Carolina. So there's a lot of talent on that team right now. Coach Nelson's got a lot of talent. His daughter's on there, Grace. She's good. Also, the Murphy girls soccer team. This is one of the first years it's come to fruition, and they're moving right along, especially for something that's just been started, a program that's just been started.
2 or 3 years, I think, and they are tied for the Smoky Mountain Conference Championship. So Coach Brownlee, my son, played soccer for her on the varsity boys. She coaches the varsity girls and the varsity boys. The boys play in the fall and the girls play in the spring, so she coaches both, and she's got a good track record turning out talent. So congratulations, Coach Brownlee and the soccer girls.
Well, I know you just actually did that, but let me kick it over to you. Bring up something other than football and baseball.
Congratulations to the soccer team. Congratulations to the softball team. The track team. The girls are defending state champions in track. Looking like they may. Well, I've been reading in the paper the conference meets will be coming up this week. So
Wednesday
at Cherokee. So 2 days. Good luck to the Bulldogs in the track. They're defending their state championship. Murphy had 3 state championships in 12 months last year.
Yeah.
The girls track, the baseball, and then the football. So just keep it rolling, guys. And man, what a good time I've had talking with Brian and Jake. We'll get him educated on these North Carolina teams.
I tell you what, buddy,
come see us at Circuit World. We'll put it right in your house. We'll take care of it.
Hey, how about this? Now, you know, I like to get in trouble. I don't know if you know that about me. But, see, I don't have permission to do this, but if a first-time customer walks through the door, can they get 10% off? Can I do that? Can I do that?
Yes. 10% off.
I just didn't want to get in trouble, but I've already said it, so it's too late.
10% off. Come
there you
Circuit
go.
World.
First-time customers come into Circuit World and get 10% off because Kel said it and I said it. There you go. I'm your host, BKP, Kel Curtis here. Jake West, Circuit World of Murphy. Really have enjoyed this North Carolina Sports Report. Now, next week we're going to be on Wednesday night, not Monday night. We're going to be on Wednesday. And, hey, you want to talk a little racing next week?
I'm always up to talk racing. I watched Chase Elliott.
That's what I heard.
Checkered flag home from Talladega.
All right, well, listen, let me tell you this. You done brought it up. We got to go. But anyhow, you know, they used to have dirt track over in Blue Ridge. Used to have go-kart dirt track years ago over in Blue Ridge, right?
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, this about 17 years ago. How old's Chase now?
Chase is 20, 21.
Right.
This is
all right. So we used to have the dirt track up there. I used to go every Saturday night to the dirt track and watch the go-karts. I loved them. So we had one truck dually pull up with a trailer all painted up, okay? And we had the only 8-year-old running a go-kart with a sponsored Coca-Cola helmet. Now you guess who that was? that came up there to Blue Ridge every Saturday
Probably
night race.
Chase.
Chase Elliott. I watched Chase Elliott run when he was 8 years old over in Blue Ridge. Only one with a Coca-Cola helmet already sponsored. Way to go, Chase. How
In his
about
blood.
Huh?
It's in his blood.
How about next Wednesday? We talk a little bit of racing. We'll be back next week. Again, thank you very much for joining us. Follow us on Team FYN Sports Facebook page, and also these programs are all uploaded to our YouTube channel, FYN TV. Fetch Your News YouTube channel under the playlist NC Sports Report. We'll be back next week. We're out for now. Thanks, guys. Let me go cut it off.
Appreciate it.